Welcome to the Lift Oneself podcast. I am your host, Nat B. Listening with an open heart allows us to relate to another's journey, opening up our minds to insights that help us reflect on our own life. In every story, you can find a glimpse of yourself in the details. I appreciate you being here. How is your heart doing?
My heart is doing really good. I had a great night's sleep. We had the windows open, so we felt the breeze. I really love these spring nights where it's cool. So yeah, I feel good.
Good.
Yeah. How's your heart doing?
It's actually very at peace and joyful. Even with some things that might be disruptive that would have set me on a kilter, I see my maturity of allowing it to be and still being grounded in my inner peace. And allowing myself space when I feel like I'm becoming reactive of something or agitated, or also witnessing other people's pain, that I take a moment to ensure that I don't internalize it. Because when we witness other people's pain, challenges, suffering, it unearths our own wounds. And so you have to take time to nurture those and not just go back into stimulating and rush and everything else, if you can. And so I'm very aware of, I have to nurture my own inner garden. So my heart's doing well. And I'm very proud of myself for that, because there's a lot of things going on. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing the work, living in my own experiences, and I'm being as honest and truthful as I am, and that I can allow myself, because honesty with ourselves is such a difficult thing to do, because we have all these beliefs and these kind of definitions that we have to jump through these layers. And so that honesty part, if I'm honest with myself, there's nowhere else to go. And I can be present with myself and self-accepting. So my heart is doing well. Thank you for that, asking me that. You recently have renewed your vows of being a parent. I saw your face. You're like,
I was like, what did he, is there surprise? Is there like balloons coming here? Like, like that's the best surprise ever.
I know it's not a statement that people, yet it's a commitment. So you renewed your vow of being a parent again.
Yes. I was actually saying to a friend of mine the other day, like, you really don't know your parenting game until your child's about 30 years old. Okay. That's what I say. Because by that time they've gone the full spectrum, this movement of the sun and everything. And you're just like, they're their own person and they're responsible for themselves. And anything that you might have done, that's their own shit to deal with, that they got to figure out. So I was like, okay, I used to think that all the time. And then Theodore is like on the brink of 30. And I keep thinking, okay, I think I did pretty good. I think I don't know, maybe I think so. And then I get pregnant and I'm like, okay, I get to do this all over again. And I feel like this is a completely, Sparrow is so different than Theodore in so many ways. And I feel like I am testing everything that I've created for my own model of a parent or a caregiver, whatever I believe myself to be. Sparrow has come to test that. So I'm just like, I'm following this practice of letting go of the strict background that I had as a child, letting go of that. But then at the same time, listening to this interval, what's important to me? Yes, it's important. There's a please and a thank you. Why is it important? Okay, so I had this issue with saying please and thank you for young children. And then I remember one day I was giving Sparrow his food and I said, thank you, Mom. I just put it down and I say, thank you, Mom. I don't expect him to say that, but I just say it. And he was eating his food, and about, I don't know, a minute or so into it, he starts going like this. And I was like, yeah, that's your thank you. Yes, you're saying thank you. So now whenever he does that, when he's eating, we praise him for giving thanks. And I was like, that brought me so much more joy than please say thank you. Like, It's like, please, and so I'm letting go of this dominant control thing that I have, and I still don't understand exactly what it is yet. I know how beneficial it is, and I do plan on making sure that at least when he goes into the education system, that he understands the importance of please and thank you. These are powerful words that can change the mood of the person you're speaking to, which would actually could influence them being more giving into what you want. So yeah, that was one thing that I've been challenging myself with. And then also, because I'm an early childhood educator, I was like, am I going to be an early childhood educator to Sparrow, or am I going to be his mom? Because it's very different. I'm a hard teacher, but I'm a very soft mom. So I was like, he's going to have so many educators in his life, and he's only going to have one mom. So I decided I was going to be mom to him, which is challenging because I have intimacy issues, and that's has a lot to do with my personality. It's like go, go, go. I don't take this space to sit and to look into someone's eyes, or just take the time to put the hand over hand and touch, feel his skin. So already he's teaching me to take the time and space to be more intimate with him and with myself, and people in my family. And it's yeah, what can I say? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going with what I got, and I'm improving my skills. I'm surrounding myself with beautifully, wonderfully smart, wise people, and I'm forgiving myself every day because, yeah, that's up.
Your self-awareness is marvelous. To really understand the intimacy part is getting to the root.
Yeah.
Not the symptoms. Because a lot of people don't even understand what intimacy is. They seek it in other people, and they don't realize you aren't even intimate with yourself.
Right.
Because once you're really intimate with yourself, you can be intimate with other people.
Genuinely, yes.
And so it takes that other person to bring you into that space.
Yes.
And our children, they bring us into a vulnerability that we are like, what is this? And then we discover it's like there's an armament that you have to disarmor that just keeps coming back up, and you just disarmor it. And then you come to see the power that has always been inside yourself that you just didn't know was there. And they bring you in such a powerful space if you're willing to go in there.
I just posted something on the Star Parent Podcast Instagram site the other day about we all have an imprint of the universe within us. And like, it's just for us to discover these parts of us that have been hidden. So I just, that came up when you were sharing that.
Yeah. Your self-awareness is amazing.
Thanks. I mean, it's a long time coming. I'll tell you. I mean, I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with the fact the way I grew up, and my oldest brother having Tourette's syndrome, and seeing the way he was treated, seeing the way he was treated in our family, the way he was treated outside the family. It just made me aware, like, okay, something's not right. This is messed. And I've always just kind of been a little bit more rebellious and seeking answers, questioning people, getting in trouble a lot.
I don't know why that's called rebellion.
I
don't know why that's called defiant. When you're calling out things that are wrong, that society just wants to act like, no, this is the right way, that we ostracize and we ridicule and we other people because they don't fit in our paradigm of what normal and successful and functional is.
Well, yeah, I guess I agree with you. I should rephrase that. Or I could rephrase that to highlight my strengths of speaking up and being an advocate in situations that were always so great. So yeah, thank you for that. I will make that.
They do that to kids because kids' voices are not honored. So, and because they're truth tellers, we put these labels of you're rebellious, you're defiant. And it's just that, well, maybe the way that they said it, maybe it was a little messy, but their message was very clear and you didn't like it.
Yeah.
So how do we shut up the voice? By giving it certain labels.
That's true. Compartmentalizing it. Absolutely.
We were talking and we were speaking about the shadow parts, and you brought up a great phrase. Do you remember what that phrase was?
Not in this exact moment, but you'll remind me.
Well, so the shadow work and those shadow parts are, we are exactly what we cannot stand.
Yes. Yes. Carl Jung and Hermann Hesse was, that's where I first read it, actually, was just that whatever irritates us in others is something that we need to learn about ourselves. And that's a game changer when you actually accept that. It is very humbling. It's difficult to face because there are some people who are idiots. And when you accept the fact that you yourself, me, myself, Lorraine, Elizabeth Campbell, I'm an idiot, at times, that's when you can just release this this thinking that you're better than someone. When we're not, we're all just the same in different wrappings. So yeah, it's it's difficult for people with a big ego, or we all have one, but it's very difficult to accept where we suck, because we always want to feel like we're better and good and all these things. And that's in our makeup. We want to belong. We want to feel, we want to build trust with other people. We want to be reliable, but we don't make space for for our shadow to have all these moments where we're not at our best, and uh, still have faith that that person is still reliable, that person is trustworthy. That's part of what makes them trustworthy, that they can honor these things about them that are not so good. But because we don't give space to that, we have to close in, we have to mask it, we have to pretend that it doesn't exist. And that's where we've got eating disorders, that's where we've got stress, that's where we have panic attacks, that's where we have anxiety, so many, dementia, so many things can be linked to not dealing with your real true self. And that's kind of what the beauty of it, that we have mirrors in front of us. Anybody that's around you, anybody in your close circle, that's who you are. That's a good mirror of who you are. And if you don't like it, you can totally change it, but you can't change it by just leaving. You got to change what's happening within you. I mean, when I started changing what was happening within me, I'm not even lying that, okay? Like clockwork, every single person in my life that was fraudulent dropped. And at first I was like, where are you guys going? Wait, where are you going? And then I was like, no, fly away. Make space for all this beauty for me to see that I already have within me. And it's lonely.
Oh,
It
is.
doesn't feel so good. It's painful. Uh, it's sad. But once you get through that, it's pretty glorious. It's freeing. You can have conversations that are real with people and not worry about your facade, because you don't have one and you don't need one. And it's just a great feeling to be in. And I think it has a lot to do, like you said, maturity. Like, I'm 45, girl, you know, we're up there, and we just have this ease of, like, we know. It's like that set that, like your teacher was saying about your son, you know, your son gets it at like 7 that this system is messed up. And it's like, we get it, you know, we get it now that this system is kind of messed up. And sometimes this realization happens like when in your 80s, but times are changing, more information, we're exposed to more things. So we are awakening earlier. Like I know some millennials that have their game. They're so wise, so understanding of how they contribute to the betterment of this world just in themselves. So facing your shadow, facing your inner demon, facing your inner child, facing the trauma, that's the best thing that you can do for yourself in this lifetime, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what can you thank COVID for?
Oh, thanking COVID for I thank COVID for pretty much pushing me up into a corner and making me stop all the things I was doing and take care of me because I was pregnant in the beginning of this. I found I was pregnant in November, and COVID started in March, or not started, but it hit. So I had to take care of myself first because I had baby inside of me, and like I would have never closed my businesses and did all that I did if I wasn't pregnant. I probably would have just hung it out and kept going. So COVID gave me this time to connect with myself, and then I just gotten so much better health, and I was sleeping more, and I was more relaxed, and I was moving so much slower, and all the things that I'd been studying for the past like 5 years, because I've been taking so many courses. I actually had a chance to go through my notes and read them and reflect and grow. So yeah, I thank COVID for allowing my family to be around me. I spent more time with my son Theodore now than I ever have because of COVID. Like I make the choice to go over to his home, or he comes over, and before it was like we just see each other, you know. So yeah, I thank COVID for the time shift.
Beautiful. How do you support your mental health?
How do I support my mental health? That is a very good question. Exercise, God. I pray to God a lot. I've recently learned how to pray in an effective way, like not like this, oh Lord Jesus, I thank you for this day. Oh, joy, my friend, my savior. Oh no, I don't do that sometimes, but no, it's like real, like right now, Lord, I'm so thankful to be here right now with Nat. We just put our hands on her and bless her for all her goodness. And so thankful, Lord, that you're allowing me to be myself with everyone. And I'm just so grateful, Lord. Thank you. And it's just little things like this that I do before I drive. And it keeps me grounded in who I am, because I'm in a difficult relationship right now. I'm like, it's challenging at times. And just being able to pray in stressful moments, just go to the bathroom, pray, go for a walk, pray, makes a big difference. Yeah, being outdoors. I used to be like a lot into gardening. I had my other daycare. I had a big garden there, and I loved that. But to now, I just don't have the energy to start a whole new garden again. So I have a lot of plants in my workspace. So watering my plants and talking to them is part of my mental health. When I see a new leaf coming, we welcome it. I'm really happy about that. Cleaning, believe it or not, support. When I get really frustrated about something, sometimes I just need to vacuum because the sound just makes me go somewhere else. Cooking, if I'm angry, I'll fry chicken. Like I just need to hear the crackle of oil to get some stuff out. So yeah, that's little things like that.
I appreciate that honesty.
Yeah.
Really serving whatever you're feeling and emotions, you're serving it so it doesn't get suppressed or denied. You're actually letting it be processed in whatever way that is nurturing to you. So it's a positive feedback loop, and not one that you have to look and it's like, oh, what did I do with the projection? You're actually really, like I said, your self-awareness of being intimate with yourself and what do you need right now. And we're not going to deny what we're feeling. We're going to let there be a process and serve it in whatever way it is needed. So thank you for that honesty. In a world that we try to change it or whatnot, it's like, no, this is what I need to do. Or we have it all together. It's like, no, I have different things that I have to process. Imagine that you're 18 years old and you can only say 3 words to yourself. What would they be?
18 years old, 3 words. I love you. Because I know my 18-year-old self would not listen to anyone. So the only thing I can really do is tell her right now is I love you, and I'll be here waiting for you when you decide to wake up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Is there anything that you would like to bring up?
When we're thinking in our higher power, sometimes that doesn't really translate well. And people are like, what do you mean higher power? Am I supposed to like summon Jesus or talk to Jesus? Like, no, it's just meaning like there's this concept that I learned about the snake, the jaguar, the hummingbird, and the eagle. So the snake mentality is like, I hit you, you hit me. Okay. The jaguar mentality is you hit me, and I say, ouch, what the heck did you do that for? The hummingbird mentality is you hit me, and I say, wow, something must be really bothering you. And the eagle mentality is you hit me, and I say, all I feel is your love. So living in the eagle is like Jesus, Buddha, like kind of hardly to be unattainable, because if someone smacks you in the face, you're not going to feel love. Like you're going to be like, hopefully you're thinking, what's going on with you? What is it that you're not receiving right now? So that's the mentality that we try to aim to stay at in this between jaguar and hummingbird, and realize that, we're going to fall back and down. But getting to this whole snake where you hit me, I hit you, we're not going to solve anything in this realm. That's usually where we're angry. But kind of staying above and thinking about what is the other person needing. Am I receiving clear messages from them? Should I ask for more clarity? And that would keep the conversation in a level where the other person thinks, oh, they actually care about what I need. The tension drops. They reciprocate to you and share with you what they need. Wow, your tension drops. I can actually help them. So just being in this service, and I'm not saying be a doormat, but just try to think in a higher level and see what happens.
I really appreciated how you said at the beginning too, relationships. A lot of people don't realize that when there's challenges in the relationships, that you can discover parts of yourself. Yet you tend to want to run away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because the other person is whatever. Yet we don't realize the benefit of, if you want change, only change happens within you. And that will help you to discover, possibly where people don't want to hear or see, how did I allow myself into this relationship? What did I not see or was attracting that now I have to see within myself? But it's so easy to blame the other person.
Yes.
And it's, and it's not to stay where it is highly violent. That is where we have to really protect ourselves.
Safety first, always.
And that is even psychological or emotional, because that has a significant impact on how you will traumatize yourself and self-inflict pain, because that inner critic.
Oh yeah, it's so important to educate yourself. And I'm just going to share a little bit before we cut off here, because what I'm experiencing in my life right now is this little, I don't know, I want to call it a dance, but this moment where I realize I have to educate myself on my partner's patterns of behavior, because he's working through his own trauma, but it's actually affecting my life. And I wasn't educated enough to understand that I don't have to take his words seriously. I'm not taking them personal, because he's dealing with his own crap. So when I started educating myself on narcissism, on there's this book that my friend recommended, Stop Walking on Eggshells, about personality disorders, and just not necessarily the thing my partner has, but there's definitely traits that we all have as being narcissistic. So reading about that, learning about that has helped me see how narcissistic I am. Like how much I revolve things around myself. And then I started to have more compassion for him. And we started to communicate better. And I'm not saying that it's best relationship that I've been in right now, but it's definitely the relationship where I've been in, where both of us are working. Both of us are really trying to.
Perhaps that's what relationships really are.
Yeah, and it's so hard. It's so hard.
Because, when people are hearing, 20 years of marriage, 25, and it's like, how many of those years did you guys spend together? Or did you even like each other? Or
Were you
was
having
there,
sex?
yeah, like all these different things that people don't bring to the forefront because they make relationships into this fairy tale thing where it's like, no, if you really understand it, it's a partnership. And if I can put some words to what you said, like understanding this pattern, it's also understanding the trauma language.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that we are activating in each other? Because what people don't realize when you start studying psychology and the psyche, you understand children come in as narcissistic. Everything revolves around them. So that's why we get imprinted with interpreting so many things. The parent is angry. It's my fault. What can I change? The teacher is angry. My fault. And some people, they stay in that shell. And then there's other people that become very empathetic and they're like empaths. And what usually happens in relationships, there is the empath and the narcissistic that feed off each other.
Yeah, that's us.
And so it becomes a mutual, and then it's like, and yet like you're doing your work of seeing, okay, what's in him that's irritating me so that I can, do the work so I can benefit from this. Not trying to fix therapy. Or change in you.
Exactly.
Not trying to change you. How can I benefit and grow? And then once I need to move out, or I'll get a clear signal that it's time, yet let me learn it here in this dynamic before I have to go start all over again with somebody else. And learning that and seeing that, it's like, so like this hype, that's the thing about mainstream. They'll hype up things. The narcissistic and they're so evil. And it's like, we all have that trait. Exactly. It's just amplified in some people, and you're not listening to their story of, well, what was their experience that created this shell that has them only seeing the world in this way that they feel protected in. And being able to go through that is, once we see ourselves and we open up, like you said, beautifully, things are unfolding that we're able to communicate in such a more intimate way. Yet we don't realize it's us to open. And then we can see clearly of, can I still work through this, or this is enough now? And it's a daily, not even daily, moment by moment, having to, and like you said, you have so many, you're a caretaker, you're a parent. So it's not just you and your partner. There's other children that are involved too. And that dynamic and being aware. So I commend you. I commend you with the work that you're doing, because when you embody it and you become the change the world is looking for. So you live it in your living being experience. So you don't have to preach it to people. People become curious of, what are you doing? What's with your energy? How are you managing all this?
Jesus.
I commend you and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Nat. Thank you so much for me being here today. I'm so happy. I definitely.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, can you let everybody know where they can find you?
Yes. Well, we're the Star Parent Podcast on Anchor, and there's Spotify. I think they're on Google as well. You can find us. You can find us on Instagram, the Star Parent Podcast. We try to post every other day. Please send us comments and listen to our episodes as well. Nat, you're actually going to be featured this upcoming week, so I'm excited about that.
I'm excited. I'm trying to remember our conversation. I'm like, I'll be surprised with it again. Yeah, I like the surprise of it because I really appreciated that conversation. Cool. You make the space very easy to talk with people.
That's beautiful. I loved hearing that. Thank you.
You do. And I appreciate everything that you are offering of service and gifting the world. So thank you for showing up and continuing to evolve and expand. Know that I appreciate you, and remember to be kind to yourself. Thank you for making it to the end. I appreciate you and your time. If you found any value in this conversation, I ask you to help us grow by subscribing to the Lift Oneself podcast and sharing it out to others. The more that we have conversation and dialogue that are honest and open, that is when we can remove the stigmas around mental health. Until next time, remember, be kind and gentle with yourself. You matter.